Welcome back, you filthy Valorant casuals, to the Collegiate Valorant League, hosted by the Gamers EDU, hosted by me. I'm your part-time host slash full-time friendly neighborhood bloodsucker, Queen McRib. I'm super excited to get into these matches for you guys tonight, but a quick little disclaimer. Number one, I will be lisping this entire stream because of my new teeth, so be nice to me. Number two, we're actually only going to have 2 matches for you guys tonight rather than the regular 3. We will be getting into our first one, CPSLO Green versus SFSU, shortly. And then around 8:30 tonight, we'll be getting into Sac State versus SJSU. So you're not going to want to miss that. And one last little baby reminder, please be nice in chat. If you're going to be a troll and be malicious and mean, I'm going to stick my entire vampire coven on you. So you're not going to want to do that. And now, I'm super excited to announce your casters for the evening. They may only be mere mortals, but they're pretty dang cool. Eli the Curry and the OG Ben. What's up, you guys?
What is up? I mean, I may not be as cool as Blade up there since I'm only the IT guy and the nerd, wears Star Wars shirts, but you know what? Hey, I can do what I can do.
It's all good. We're gonna take them down. We're gonna be good. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry, I can't talk. I can't do Blade for very long without cussing, and I don't feel like cussing on the stream.
Nah, we try to keep it a little bit clean at least. That's why I'm the IT guy. I sit in the back. I don't have to deal with all the front stuff.
All you do is flip the switch and look smart. I'm gonna take out Fra.
Hey, I can look smart, but my smooth 5-star not head brain is not always there. So it's mostly smooth. Yes. Smart things.
You're a real asset to the team.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. An asset. Yes. Just the first word of that 2-word thing is yes, is what I am.
So we have San Francisco State. I know the difference in words as well, like Ben, versus San Luis Obispo Green. So
Cal Poly Green and San Fran.
Yeah, little bit of a step away from teams that are at the top of the leaderboards. San Francisco still trying to make their way, I feel like, out into that contending area. Cal Poly Green trying to get things started for themselves and trying to establish their own presence as a team to be reckoned with. What do you think is going to happen for this event? What do you predict as a result for this match?
I mean, just going off the standings and how they've played before. I mean, as you look through the roster, I noticed a lot more San Fran players that I've called out or just seen how they've played before. So I recognize a lot more names than I do on Cal Poly Green side. I mean, in Cal Poly, I recognize really one name that I've called out before. And also just looking at the standings and how they've played last, I want to say San Francisco's going to take this. Not sure by how much. Could be a landslide. Could be there could start a snowball effect and just take it all the way home. Could steamroll it. Who knows? But I do think San Francisco is going to take this.
Right. And I would have to agree. Though we've seen some bits of brilliance out of Fizz Pop and Juice, just to name a couple players on the Cal Poly side, I would say that San Francisco State, despite not having one of the best records in the league, has actually held their own against some of the stronger sides, and they've looked great. They've had flashes of brilliance as a collective unit. So I would imagine that they would be taking it today, but you never know. It's any given night. Who's got the upper hand? McRib. I'm sorry, literal queen of the damned McRib. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Usually I go for the underdog, but I think because of the last couple matches I've seen Slow Green play, I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I really think, I believe his name is Cloud B on SFSU. He's pretty deadly with an op, so I'm excited to see that. I'm a little more on like Ben's side where it's like there's just a few more players that I'm more excited to see, I think, out of SFSU. But hey, CPSLO, I mean, you could always surprise me.
That is true. We have seen the underdogs come back, and that's always something wonderful to see. But at the end of the day, we do have to look at the numbers. Numbers don't, most of the time can't tell the truth. I want to say they don't lie because this isn't business, but, people kind of stay where they're at. They kind of stay in their little bubble. So if they're going to stay where they're at, I do think San Francisco's going to take it.
We will note that this is the 1.10 patch. There was a recent update that was supposed to have gone through that was awkward to say the least. And that was rolled back. So we are playing on the rolled back version, the same version that you saw on Monday. You will be seeing for the remainder of the week until Riot figures out what they're doing with that patch and how they're going to get that rolled out. So no Icebox, no Sky in the league for the foreseeable future. And we will not be playing on the differentiated economy or with those adjusted agents or sentinels just yet as we get on into this pistol round. As you can see here, looking from FizzPop's perspective. So we are going to have Cal Poly Green on the attacking side to begin with, and San Francisco State defending to start out with.
And we already starting off strong with the attacking side, getting 2 kills and already starting to plant. So who knows? They might be switching it around. Like, you know, the underdogs are definitely trying to come back.
Like I said, I did have that mistake, and I'm sorry. This is San Francisco attacking while Cal Poly is in the defending. That is my mistake there.
All right, well, I was just going with you, all right?
That's my bad. That's my bad.
You're following your lead, Leon.
All right, so now double checking, and then it is San Francisco on the attacking team, and this is something that I am not surprised to see, actually. This is actually not very surprising at all. San Francisco taking it with almost a flawless in this first run, you know, going towards B. And what's funny on this map, what I've noticed a lot is a lot of teams like to rush B. B seems to be the go-to, and A kind of lingers in the background almost as a, you know, it's kind of like a safety net of, okay, if anything happens at B, we'll just rotate back to A.
Yeah, you've got that short, you've got the short angle for attackers on B side. There's that narrow choke point that can be very difficult to get through. But once you do, I feel like the site kind of expands favorably for the attackers. Whereas A, there's a lot more ground to cover getting into the site, and it's a bit harder to contain once you do make the breach and get in. So it's probably one of those situations where, you know, San Francisco is just taking the narrow route. But as you see here, they're making a quick A approach, and Juice is unable to get anything done before they're taking out, and the plant goes down. As you see FizzPop attempting to set up, they're going to be flanked out by Leon, and Leon is able to get the kill on FizzPop as well. So now a 3v5 emerging for San Francisco State with the spike down, looking great for them.
Man, what that must be hard for Cheeks just to run right into gunpoint, point blank right there. That has to feel bad right there.
He literally ran into his crosshair.
Not even. There was nothing there. Just point blank and just pull the trigger. That's all you had to do. Straight headshots.
You love to have that happen to you as Data, right? This enemy just says, "Hey, please kill me." I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, sure, I'll do that." Data is on their way to the 3K. You see right now a very steady approach right now for San Francisco, despite having won the first 2 rounds, not overextending, not purchasing large amounts. As you see on the other side, Cal Poly is definitely invested heavily into this 3rd round. They're going to try to stop the bleeding here, get something done. As you see Cheeks getting shots out early around to the A site, predicting that back and forth around as Dadar approaches through. No smoke is there. There's a safe point.
I'm surprised. I mean, Dadar didn't even look to the right side, checking to see if someone's going to come through the smoke. I mean, I guess that's just a normal thing, not to really walk too much through the smoke. But FizzPop getting the no-look kill right there, right through the smoke, no problem. As we see Fizz now coming into a B side, looking to see if someone's going to plant. As Leon, Civic now taking down Juice. Civic going after FizzPop, but Fizz able to turn it around on Cloud.
FizzPop has done an admirable job trying to stop the bleeding for Cal Poly, but has really been the lone bit of resistance. Literally the case here, as you see this 1v3, where Leon has just kind of obliterated everyone inside of their path. FizzPop trying to hold it down, gets the 3rd kill of the round there on Civic. Spike is down. There is a time limit here if you're FizzPop, but who knows what happens if you get this shot off on.
I don't, you know, Fizz is gonna have to get up in there. You know, Fizz is already at half health, which is not looking good. We do have 2 against him. He does take down Fizz. Does take down Leon. He is 1 kill away from an ace.
We could get the ace here, but True King doing a great job avoiding the area, but now has to wonder. There's the rocket there from FizzPop, blew the shot, and there's True King following up with the knife.
With the Fizz, did you see the knife? That was totally disrespectful right there.
I love it though, you know, True King just saying, look, man, like FizzPop gave it up to, it was like, you took the rocket shot, you thought I abandoned the site, you were wrong. And FizzPop's just like, you know, 4 out of 5 ain't bad, but unfortunately not good enough.
Fizz was not able to get that ace. I would have loved to see that ace either way. But hey, True King did play it very well. I will give that to him for sure. You can't deny that play was very tactical, very smart, very strategic. That's a 5-head play right there. So that you cannot, or you can't say that it wasn't.
Yeah, you can't hate on it. It's the simple value of the spike, right? We talk about it. It's 101 for Valorant and a lot of other games like it. You get the spike down, you change the objective of the match. Killing all the attackers is no longer good enough for the defenders. And True King played with that. Wasn't a good situation to try to take FizzPop on 1v1. Literally everybody else on the team had failed. But True King recognized that wasn't the goal. Meanwhile, as you see here, the fight over towards A, Cheeks and Juice going out early.
We've already seen Leon and Civic already starting off strong as well with these first engagements. Leon just already starting out with the 2K. Leon definitely is a strong player for San Francisco State.
And there's a third. There will be no FizzPop magic here.
There is a flawless already into the 4th round. Now we're going into the 5th. San Francisco has this momentum already, and I knew they would. You know, and I knew San Francisco so far is going to be taking it. San Francisco is they are performing as they should.
Yeah, they're out into a lead, looking extremely confident. McRib, what was that?
I was gonna say let's put ourselves in like, what is CPSLO's like best position to succeed right here? How do they break this momentum? Because they keep like losing these like really important team fights. So how are they supposed to like come back from this if they can?
Well, you see Juice going for a bit of an earlier engagement, right? Setting up the flash. And you see Cheeks actually got out and has already gotten the first blood. So I think that's kind of what's important for them, is to not sit back for these fights. If you're struggling with the pace that San Francisco is putting on you, then even as the defenders, get up, get toward them, and take the fights a little sooner. See if you can push back and break the assault there. As you see now, Fruclit getting a kill on Civic. But by the time Data is able to respond with 2 of their own,
2 kills, switching it up now. I mean, I also have to add to the point, Eli, as well as like you saw in these first 4 rounds, they weren't necessarily playing too much as a team. They were playing more individual, which, you know, on a lot of these other teams, we see that happen, and that's what really kills them in the end. Is they're not playing as a team; they're playing to get the kills. They're playing for the KDA, and in Valorant, KDA means absolutely nothing.
And you even see a result of that where Cheeks gets 2, it's a 3v3, but there's no follow-up. There's nobody coming around to supplement that, and they get picked off one by one around each other until now you see, once again, it's just FizzPop left trying to operate in the site with Cloud B on the op. That's a matter of time. As you see right there, FizzPop actually is able to make it happen against Cloud B, and Datara shuts it down. A 3K for Datara.
No charges left.
Him and Cloud B right now just making things look very, very simple for San Francisco.
We're coming into the 6th round, and San Francisco already has 5 secured. So I mean, we're already, even though we're kind of far off, we're already starting to approach this halftime, and they are not looking too good on their side.
Yeah, no, this is a huge lead opened up now. And the loss bonus has got to refuel itself for Cal Poly, so they're still in the dumps economy-wise. These next couple of rounds are not going to be ones where they can really afford to do much. The ultimates aren't looking great. You see Datara sitting on that Blade Storm. If you're San Francisco, you know, you're kind of just looking to see what you can get away with, what you can save for another round. As we see True King getting out, taking out Bivnu. Yeah. But see right there.
Look, yeah, the follow-up on the attacker side, they got 2 down, and they just came back with another 2.
Exactly, yeah. Juice gets 2 kills, and the next one dead is Juice. That's a trade-off where all the defenders on that side are gone. The attackers know they take losses, but they lick their wounds and keep moving. But where's the follow-up rotation? Where's the confirmation of places that you see Leon with 2?
Boom, Leon and Dedra just following it up one after another. Just there's no hesitation. There's no like waiting for somebody to follow up. There's just let's kill and keep on moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a tough draw, right, to have to deal with something like this when Leon and Data are playing as they are. And you look at this, like you said, Ben, KDA does never really tell the whole story, but 13-1 is pretty decisive, and they give you a strong hint as to what happened. Behind all that team play, this is it's just tough. You've got to figure out a way. Somebody's got to get the shot off on Leon. You know, somebody's got to take Data out early. As you see Cheeks trying to fill up the hallway, but those bullets are alone. There's no one else there representing the threat that Cheeks is. So it's an initial threat, but if it's navigated, what happens now for Cal Poly? How do they follow up? How do they take advantage? of that threat level.
Oh, there goes Flucid actually taking one off on Civic. But, you know, Civic is definitely a decent player, but, you know, we've been seeing a lot of Leon and True King definitely coming back as well. So, I mean, I don't think they're down and without a fight right now, or Dedra as well.
Oh, Fizzpop taking out True King.
All right, now we're getting, this is when I think this is when they're going to get a point at least right now if they keep this up. They're doing pretty well. They're keeping the attackers back from the point. Keeping San Fran, you know, kind of in a tight corner.
Yeah, and I see now Leon meeting up here with Data right now. San Francisco finally showing up in numbers, but they're going to be met with a proper force as Cheeks and looks like Fruclid, yeah, are both in there.
30 seconds
Trying to ward them off. Here's Fizzpop on the rotate around, but can't take Data around the corner. So now the rotation to B comes through.
Now this is I think right now if they want to San Fran's as they're going to try to keep this, they're putting that spike down, getting that extra time. But Leon is not able to get that gun up for a Bivnav coming through, and Cheeks getting Gedera. Now it's only a Killjoy with the Cloud B on the op. This is going to be hard for him. You know, Ops is not good in close range.
No, it's not. And you see that B choke point with Cloud B operating outside of it on the op was the idea. I like the idea as Fruclid will get that hunt down on Cloud B, get that op. That's great for their economy. They'll be able to get that weapon out into the hands of their best shooter. But I understand the formation San Francisco tried to deploy there, right? The idea is to get Data and Leon out into the site, see if they can win the 2v2, and then whoever's left among them teams up with Cloud B on that operator in order to do it. But it looked like Cloud B's positioning was just off there, as they were easily smoked and flashed out from that op site, and they weren't really able to represent much of a threat. So a rare bout of misexecution there from San Francisco allows Cal Poly to finally get themselves on the board, and we'll see if that momentum continues as Fruclid gets one early on Data.
And that's who started it off last time. So this, if we can get these first interactions off, and you know they've taken the first interactions and winning them on from the defenders to the attackers side, Cal Poly Green can start taking this. They can start taking it for themselves. You know, getting these first interactions, which are very important in any game.
There's Fizzpop with the ult there, taking down Leon. That's a great way to start. Cheeks gets Civic with that borrowed operator. Now the work starting to look much more doable here if you're a Cal Poly. Even if True King takes out Cheeks, the 4v2 is one you'll happily accept on the defending side.
Ooh, and Cloud B not able to trade it on Flucid as Flucid takes him with the impact through the wall. True King getting Bivnav, but Fizzpop able to trade it up. And that's what we were talking about in these first couple matches. They had no follow-up, and now they have the follow-up, and that's what's important.
Yeah, the response, right? Not good enough just to get one or two, even two early. If you don't have any positioning behind it, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And you see right now the money for most of San Francisco State, not great. Leon and Data, who have been very proficient with their killing, still sitting pretty. But the rest of the team going to need to kind of take a couple of, rounds to sit back, especially if they can't get the kills, they can't get the plants, or even win the rounds. We'll see what happens now. If this is not a great opportunity for Cal Poly to make a comeback, we see it's going to be an immediate B site push here for San Francisco State.
Ooh, but Juice taking out True King, and Cloud be able to trade it on Juice. We got both we both got Killjoys going up right now.
This is a heavily invested round right now. Killjoy ult's going off. It was San Francisco who decided to push the pace. But despite that, they weren't able to get the plant down. So now you're committed to the site. Spike is in the area, but you're not set up properly, right? The Killjoy ult pushes you off. And there's Fizzpop backing up Biv, taking down Civic.
Oh, and Cloud B going down again with an operator. That has to hurt. Leon but Attacker's turning it around.
Yeah, that was actually Cloud B killing Cheeks. So that's Cloud B defending their operator.
My bad. I was looking at it wrong then. My brain, like I said, it's smooth today.
As it is. There was the great bit of work there by Cloud B in that B site, taking down Cheeks, knocking that operator off the situation, and then getting two more. So that was a big round there for San Francisco as they work towards putting a commanding lead even further out of play here. As we near halftime, we are in round number 9, 12 rounds and a half. The lead will be with San Francisco State as we get to halftime regardless. The question is, how far away are they going to be able to put this thing? 7-5 and 10-2 are vastly different scores. So these last 3 rounds of massive importance for Cal Poly if they want to be able to make something happen in the second half.
I mean, it looks like San Francisco's already in the point. Cloud B taking it down. Leon trading it for Cheeks. Bob taking out Leon. Still a 3v3. Here we go.
There by Juice.
And we're not seeing any lead up or follow up on that with the other people. So again, we're looking for those follow ups, and this is what's right now. It's really hurting Cal Poly Green.
As True King there gets around, takes out Juice. Cloud B gonna be able to finish off Bidnap. Now you got FizzPop alone with an operator and no one to call.
And if right now it's looking like it's gonna be a 10-2 half, and if they do a 10-2 half, it's only gonna be a 3 on defender's side. And as we see already, San Francisco is very strong attacking and defending. I feel like he's going to be even stronger.
Yeah, it definitely seems like San Francisco would feel very comfortable only needing to win a few rounds. They've already had the great advantage on the pistol round. They were nearly flawless. They've maintained a money advantage for the majority of this half, and even without it, have had no real problem responding to Cal Poly's adjustments and what they've tried to do. When Cal Poly pushed back up again, then San Francisco just hit even harder and got further in. But we'll see now. Fruitclit on this judge. If anybody steps through that smoke, they're going to be having a bad time. Unless they can accurately predict where Fruitclit is going to be with that.
And they're both right there. They're all right, so close to each other. Ooh, as Breach was able to get the flash off and follow up for the death, and Civic now taking out 2 as we go into site A. Just waiting for the plant as Leon gets juice. Bivnav is definitely being alone.
Yeah,
but
and there
no plan even needed. We got a 9-2. It's looking like it's going to be a 10-2 in this half and 3 rounds, especially as we've seen in the beginning. San Francisco is strong with their pistol rounds. They might not even need to, plant on these pistol rounds that are coming up. They'll just take the wins from them, and that could be the end of the game. This game could be less than half an hour.
Yeah, we are looking at a potential Blitz 3 situation here. We might have a speed run on our hands as San Francisco State taking no tremendous issue with Cal Poly here. Again, we kind of saw this, you kind of predicted this just based off of the previous performance of the teams. But you never want to see anybody struggle like this. And there have been moments, right? Fruitclit, FizzPop, they've shown themselves to be capable, but it takes a whole team. They're going to need Bivnap to show up here.
Cloud just taking out Fruitclit as he comes through that visual. See, that's when you got to stick in the whole visual. You can't pop your little head out, especially if he knows an operator on the other side. You don't know where he's at.
No, FizzPop taking out Datara. Leon gets Cheeks, but Bivnap finally stepping up here. You see Leon up in heaven looking like a defender up in heaven, picking off Bivnap and FizzPop.
Just waiting for them now. That's the cat's meow as he put that sticker up there.
Spike planted.
There's the plant here, hunting down Juice. 4 kills for Leon.
Leon's definitely been able to lead this team this whole time, getting the 4s and the 3s. It seems like in almost every round he's getting a 4 kill or a 3, or at least a 3 kill. At least a 3K.
Leon right now in what has been an extremely short round already with 21 kills. Probably one of the most efficient games we've seen out of anybody.
I was gonna say we'll talk about KDA after and just say how how they've played, but even coming into the half, already 20 kills, and that's 10 kills above Dedera, who's also been playing very well. And 10 kills above FizzPop, who also been playing pretty well, and that's just how you can tell that Leon is definitely just coming out full force.
Absolutely, Leon in his bag tonight. As we enter into this pistol round.
I know it sounds bad. Already voting for San Fran. I don't think it's gonna be impressive, to say, I guess, the least, if they do come back.
It definitely would be probably the biggest comeback we've seen. As you see, True King getting 2 there before Juice is able to take him out. But the rotation is over to A, and the spike is down with the 3v3. So this is doable. As FizzPop takes out Cloud B, Leon gets Juice. Bivnap taking out 1, and it's Leon, it's FizzPop. It's a 1v1.
It's already over. While you're trying to speak it, Leon diffusing it. 11-2.
I forgot about Data. I really forgot about Data. I apologize. How could I have been so rude?
That was your first mistake. You forgot about Gator.
But that's what we've been also saying this whole time is the follow-ups. The follow-ups are very important in this game.
Now we see San Francisco. Looks like they'll maybe a bit of patience out of them. Only a few buys thus far. Maybe talking about how deep they want to try to take this before they buy in the rifles. Meanwhile, desperation time for Cal Poly. They don't have a choice. They need to invest every dollar they get into every round they have if they want to try to make something work, as they are officially on their last mistake opportunity. As we see Data right now getting one there. Cheeks getting clapped up, finished up there.
Hey, I like the uses of the joke, Eli.
No problem, no problem. And now we see Fruitcliff falling to Cloud B. It's looking very good right now for San Francisco State. FizzPop had hoped to get that judge, make something happen, but there's been no approach from that angle, right? San Francisco State accurately predicting the weaponry, and they've just chosen not to engage at close range. They've just moved around from the sides, and that's the place where Cal Poly has not been able to respond here.
And you can see that Leon knows they're on the other side of this vent. You heard him go up and down the rope, so the sound visual or the sound cues are already there. As Cloud B comes around this side and cleans it up with a 3K, all coming out of that room one by one.
Execution
Oh man,
style.
this is a Hail Mary they need to throw right now, as they are 12-2. Cal Poly, this is it. You can't have any more mistakes, and if you can come back from this, God to your team. But otherwise, this is the game over right here.
Yeah, that was a great job. Leon held the idea. And the follow-up, right? The communication. Leon holds the side, says they're not going to come up the ropes. Look, they're not going to do it. They just don't want to mess with me. They don't know what weaponry I'm holding. Even with just a pistol, it was enough. And Cloud B made their way around, got the flank. It was as simple as pitch and catch. And I think it really kind of speaks to the difference in the way the teams have performed today, where with just a minimal amount of effort, it seems Leon is able to affect a maximum good for the team. Whereas the maximum amount of effort, some of the more heroic plays from FizzPop and from, some of the other members has just not gotten it done for them. It's not been enough. As Datara takes out two there.
Dedera is again another strong player. Civic taking another one. The follow-up coming from Dedera as well. True King, and boom, just like that, game over. Game was. I mean, I feel like I just sat down and started casting the game. I just joined. The game's done.
No,
I mean,
I felt like I got here a little late.
This game just ended as soon as it started. It felt like only 2 wins on Cal Poly side, with San Francisco taking it 13-2. Leon with a huge amount of kills. Just Leon just leading the team so strong, followed by Dedera, then Cloud B, True King, and Civic, all a great team. But at the same time, this match was so fast. I felt like I just sat down, game started, and now I'm getting up.
Easy operation. See where the suckheads is at. You navigate. You finish the job.
Yeah.
Hats off to San Francisco
Still
State.
can't believe it was such a wash, though. I thought it would at least be 13-5.
No, that was a definite steamroll. The train was on the tracks. It started going. They put more coal in there, and boom, it was off. It was off like the Polar Express going to the North Pole. It ain't stopping. It's Tokyo drifting through the ice patch. It's doing its thing.
You really have to manage those star players when they show up like that. When you've got a Leon doing that kind of work and not alone in doing that work, right? Datara was right behind Leon in some of those situations, and even Cloud post plant doing a great job at the Killjoy. What that is, I think, is 2 parts. One, there's obviously an individual ability that is hard to replicate, but very important. And without it, you just don't make much hay of things. But beyond that, I think for Cal Poly looking ahead, they've just got to be more comfortable following up with each other. They've got to believe in those situations. Your initiators are going to do their job, and you've got to rotate around. You've got to be ready to pick up and know that you might have easier fights if you've got a FizzPop or a Fruitclick coming around the corner to start a fight. you got to trust that they're going to get the work done and that you can follow up behind them. If you don't, you end up not having fights that you can take. Instead, you get fights taken to you. And if you're shooting second against Datara or against Leon or against, Crayola, some of the other star slayers in this league, that's not a proposition for victory. And that's not a long-term strategy for success. So
it's those follow-ups, like you said, like you're just talking about. It's just those follow-ups that really change up the whole game. I can go in and get the damage off, but I have no one behind me or no one, just ready to take the other two out. My death is a waste. I've died in vain, and then they just continue to steamroll.
Yeah. Well, folks, as McRib mentioned, we actually do have a bit of a break in between these. San Francisco, maybe they heard about it and they were like, "Yo, we're gonna give people an extended vacation." Midterms was on Monday for the Dominguez Hill side, and San Francisco State was like, "We can't let anybody else go through that." They were in overtime. We got to get these folks out of here quickly.
They got to get to their midterms. Midterms are coming around all day, all week, whatever. I don't know. I've been out of college for a minute, so don't ask me.
Likewise, it's been too long. Too long.
It's been too long. Well, our next match is going to be at 8:30, and it's going to start promptly because we didn't go into overtime. And that's going to be between Sac State versus SJSU. So make sure you stick around for that.
All right. This is going to be a great night, even with only 2 games. And you're going to be taken care of with Funny and Muted. So don't even worry about it. They'll take care of you as well as we've taken care of you.
All right. Stay cool out there. Don't want to get hit by
Make sure you do your research, and even though you got to stick in the van, you're still valuable to the team.